Nike craft one of the coolest and original branding taglines of all time. Just do it. So, how can you build a solid corporate brand with a really exciting and extraordinary tagline? Well, I'll let you know in this video. Hey, Zach with Creative here, where we bring you videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays that can help you build that legacy brand. Have you ever heard about the corporate brand identity matrix? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, let's jump right in.
Mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the gas, you can see.
Today, we'll be talking about a guideline to carve out a solid brand. Stephen Greyser, a branding expert and professor at Harvard Business School, created it. This questionnaire has helped many brands to integrate their identity and even the novel organizations, which is in charge of delivering the most prestige award in the world. It's called the Corporate Brand Identity Matrix. So, what is the Corporate Brand Identity Matrix? Well, its creator states that an identity comprises 9 interrelated components. An organization can build a stronger brand by examining each and how it relates to others. How does it work? Well, first, you need to consider 3 types of elements in your brand strategy. Number 1, internal elements. These are brands' missions and its vision, which engage and inspire its people. Culture, work ethic, and attitude, which inspire your internal people. And competencies, its distinct capabilities. Number 2, internal elements. In this part, we need to consider a brand's value proposition, relationships, and position in the market. And number 3, the elements that bridge internal and external aspects. Here you can include the expression, the brand core, your personality. If you consciously go through this strategy, you'll discover how well your brand identity is integrated. If it's not, you need to examine the weak links and explore how to strengthen them. That's why it's such an important tool to build and leverage your brand. Do this strategy, but make sure you follow these guidelines I have given you, provided by the specialist, Stephen Greyser. Be concise. Think of the short phrases you use in your answers as headings, under which you will later write more detailed descriptions, fleshing out the brand's identity and its story. I want you to be very straightforward. Avoid jargon and keep your responses uncomplicated. Less is always more. Seek those characteristics. Capture words or concepts that resonate within your organization or your brand that you would agree signal, this is us. A newly opened hotel in Oslo described its customer relationships like this: we treat rock stars as guests. We treat guests as rock stars. See where I'm going with this? You always want to stay authentic to you and your brand. Some elements of your identity may already be firmly rooted in your organization. Be careful to be honest in your expression of them. Some elements may be inspirational, calling for adaptation within the company if they are the real, true ringing. You want to seek what is timeless. An identity should be lasting, forward-looking, but rooted in the past. It has to stand the test of time. With all this in mind, let's jump in to that strategy. Let's look at some of those external elements and the questions around it. First, you want to assess your value proposition. What are your key offerings and how do we want them to appeal to our customers and prospects and even partnerships? Next, your relationships. What should be the nature of our relationships with key customers and other stakeholders? And the third question you need to ask yourself is position. What is our intended position in the market and in the hearts and minds of key customers and partners? Some internal and external questions you may be asking yourself as well. How do you define your expression? Well, what is really distinctive about how we communicate and express ourselves and make it possible to recognize us at a distance? The fifth question is one of the most significant ones because it is your brand core. Be thoughtful when trying to answer this with yourself. What do we promise? And what are the core values that sum up what our brand stands for? This ties into the next question, which is all about your personality. What combination of human characteristics or qualities form you as a character and the character of your team? Next, think about some internal questions that you evolve with your team. At Creative, we always encourage you to find your mission and vision. So be authentic and honest when answering. What engages us? Like, what is the main reason? What's your why? What is your direction and inspiration? Your 10-year plan? Do you have culture built? Do you have brand values? Use this as an invitation to start building it. What are our attitudes and how do we work and behave? Last but not least, you have to find your competencies. What are you good at? And what makes you better than your competitors? As you can see, there's lots of work to do here. To answer all of these questions, you must include your team, even possibly your partners. High hierarchy staff, such as executive officers, managers, etc., and maybe even some of your employees have room for this task. As you get more employees involved, your retention will grow internally. So once you have these answers to these questions, analyze the answers and questions in this matrix. As Greyser says, this questionnaire helps create a narrative about your strategy, and in fact is your strategy. It gives you that competitive approach and the basis and nature of your external interactions and communications. So what you're all thinking, what's really the outcome of all this? As you can see, there are 4 paths of this matrix, and the challenge consists of confirming that each element logically follows the one before the other, regardless of which direction you're moving. According to Harvard experts, the clearer and more logical your narrative is, the more stable the matrix is, the stronger your brand is, and the more you can identify and build that confidence in the growth of your business. Let's dive a bit deeper on each one of these scenarios. The first path focuses on strategy. At this point, you should be able to order your answers as followed. Our mission is, our vision is, what we promise, our core values, and what is the intended position in the market for us? In theory, you should be able to evaluate your corporate based on these questions. Does your mission and vision engage and inspire people in your organization and ideally beyond it? Do they translate into a promise that the organization will fulfill? Is that promise manifested within your positioning? Finally, evaluate it in other directions. Does your positioning resonate with your promise and values, which align with your corporate mission and vision? The second path will focus on your competition. In this part, you should be able to order your answers as followed. What are you good at? What do you promise? What are the core values that you live by? And what is your position? Read it, share it with your team day in and day out, and evaluate. Do the items in the list above fit well together? Do your current competencies allow you to keep your promise and provide a solid basis for a competitive and appealing value proposition? The vertical path focuses on interaction. The same thought process for this axis. Ensure you can systematize the info as followed. Your culture, the promise, your cores, the kind of relationships we strive for. The matrix helps you understand how your business and brand interacts and works. This section explains how well your organizational values and culture resonate with and engage with people inside and outside the organization. Consider your employees as essential resources for ensuring that authentic brand to your clients. If they don't embrace these elements of your corporate identity, your outside relationships are not as strong as you may think. Now, for that horizontal path, we focus on communication. Make an effort to evaluate this part since strong communication is also vital for branding. You should read it as followed. Our communication style is what we promise, our core values, and our personality traits. This was all designed as an instrument and has been demonstrated that corporate personality or character underpins the company's brand core and is expressed in many ways, from product design and architecture of a headquarters to the brand's identity and tagline and written communications. Evaluate if that personality comes through in all internal and external communications. In summary, the corporate brand identity matrix encompasses all about your company. It's a process that requires teamwork and may require a lot of sessions. But at the end of the day, you'll get a comprehensive understanding of the overall identity of you, who you are, your why, and your business. Professor Greyser says, examining and refining your corporate brand is a true leadership task required far-reaching input and commitment, passion, and grit. The outcome, a sharpened brand, stronger relationships, and a unified organization can provide a clear competitive edge. Again, I want to thank you all for watching this video. I recommend going through it a second or a third time. Write down some of your thoughts. And let me know in the comment box down below your thoughts on the matrix and what you will be doing with your perseverance and grit. Now, this is Zach with Creative, where we help you build that legacy brand.